As of late, NVIDIA have been inundating us with new drivers. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, which is the fastest driver? So let's find out. Hi there guys, Justin here again. In today's video, I'll be comparing the previous driver, which is 526.86, versus the latest driver, 526.98, which is the driver that dropped last night. So what I typically do is, as soon as a driver drops, I'll do a split screen comparison comparing the previous to the latest driver, but I use OBS to capture my gameplay. I split it on screens to give you a visual presentation, but because I'm using OBS, it skews results. It's not a true reflection of what the performance of the drivers are. So always the next day, I do analysis like this, where I do benchmarks over the two drivers, not using any recording software, and that gives you a true reflection of what the driver performance is. So I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video. Another thing before I get started, guys, if you're using GeForce Experience, if you want more performance, I highly recommend next time you load a driver, just load the driver clean, do a clean, fresh install of a driver, do advanced, only install the driver and then update your physics. Don't install the HD driver or HD audio. Don't install GeForce Experience. Because GeForce Experience, it allows you to record gameplay and lose less FPS. But when you're just playing normal gameplay, you actually lose FPS in certain games. Not all, but certain games you actually lose performance. And I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video as well. Right, so let's get to the point of this video. So in my benchmark, what I did is, obviously here's the previous driver, here's the latest driver. All my games I tested at medium settings preset. I tested 10 games. I added up all the total FPSs from those tests. And then because I tested in 10 games, I divided that total by 10 and it gave me an average FPS per game. So for the previous driver, after doing all the tests, adding up the total FPS over 10 games, I got 747.57 FPS, which gives me an average FPS per game of 74.76. And then for the latest driver, it did the exact same thing. The latest driver being 526.98. I did the benchmark over 10 games, average the medium preset, and then it gave me a total FPS over those 10 games of 743.08 FPS. And then I divided by 10 to get the average FPS per game, and then that gave me a total of 74.31 FPS per game. So as you can see, the previous driver, 526.86, is slightly faster in the games that I tested. You might find in other games that you have on your computer it's slightly different, but generally the reason I use 10 games is you get to see the trend. So the trend is that the previous driver does perform a little bit better than the latest driver. However, if you are planning on playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, which drops tomorrow, I recommend just staying on the latest driver, because this is the best Day Zero driver for Spider-Man Miles Morales, including a couple of other games. So if you're going to be installing Spider-Man or those games that are listed on the Game Ready driver 526.98, stick to the latest driver. If you're not going to be installing any new games and you want the best performance, the previous driver 526.86 does perform a little bit better than the latest driver, and even better than this driver. It was probably 522.25. It's not majorly, I think it's like one average FPS higher than this driver here. So guys, not a bad driver, the latest driver is, but the previous two drivers actually perform better than the latest driver. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. You all get a naughty badge. If you enjoyed this video, go and smash that like button. If you haven't subbed to the channel just yet, please sub. I need it. But other than that, guys, it's Thursday, it's almost Friday, it's almost time for fun, it's almost the weekend. Have a great day. It's people like you that make a difference. Cheers.